I've worked with Mike Pence for a number of years as his pollster and senior advisor, and he has been doing mock debates with Governor Scott Walker, and he's been preparing with the senior staff. And I think you're going to see tomorrow a feisty Mike Pence take on the record of Hillary Clinton and hold her accountable for the failures of her policies as Secretary of State.
After more than a year of ballyhooing his leadership at the top of the polls, Donald Trump actually let slip a word that his followers may not like. Then again, in a year of political change, as we find ourselves swimming in at the moment, the timing could be dead solid perfect. The Republican nominee may consider calling himself the underdog as he heads for the second of three showdowns against Hillary Clinton this Sunday. This as he and his followers want him to be more aggressive against the Democrat in their town hall. But is that smart? Is that the best way to attack Hillary Clinton? And why are we asking these questions? Because frankly, every time we do, Trump does whatever he wants and makes it stick with his followers. Therein lies the latest rub. Let's get to it. Your phone calls required, desired, and will be transpired as part of the conversation. Do you want Donald Trump to unleash the verbal hounds and attack with the ferocity we have yet to see against Hillary Clinton? 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-639-7629. Always a pleasure. Welcome in the staff writer at The Federalist, Bre Payton, joined by the midday radio host at News Radio 1070, 98.9 WINA in Charlottesville, Virginia, heart of a key battleground state for these candidates. Rob Schilling breaks his maid and joins us right here on America Talks Live. Let's get right to it. All right, hey, Rob, you're the new guy, so let's go ahead and ask you, because we just heard Kellyanne Conway. Let's get this out of the way right here, right up front. Vice presidential debate coming up tonight. Is it going to change anybody's mind in Virginia, you think?
You know, I don't think that it's going to necessarily. It certainly has the potential to. However, that would require somebody to either stumble or make the other person look stupid. Both of these guys are longtime politicians, and I don't think either one of them is going to fall into that trap.
Same thing then comes to you, Bre. Is that just it? These guys are too good, or are we just going to sit here and wait for somebody to make a mistake, and that's going to be the entertainment of the evening?
Yeah, I think that, most people don't know who either Tim Kaine or Mike Pence are. So I don't really see a lot of Americans in key battleground states tuning in to try and figure out, what's going on, who these people are, what they think. So I just don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference. Because I think most people just don't care about these two guys.
But it will be entertaining, and we will all be waiting to see who makes the really good one-liner. That will be the important stuff. Let's all remember. Let's talk about the debate coming up on Sunday. Then, Bre, let me stay with you. Donald Trump has said in the past, recently, he is going to hit her harder at the next debate, and he means Hillary Clinton, that he wants to come out even more vociferous, if you will, wants to just go out and just try and go for blood here. But is that the smart thing here to do at this stage of an election process?
I don't really think that he even needs to do that with Hillary Clinton. I think that she's her own worst enemy. And I think that, just pointing out some factual things about her are going to be the most effective attack against her. I think, bringing up the fact that she let 4 Americans die in Libya when she was Secretary of State, and she broke many rules and federal laws and regulations regarding her email and her private server that she used to be able to run like a pay-for-play scheme. I think, just pointing out her problems and her flaws would be the best thing for him. And one of my favorite lines that he likes to say is, Hillary Clinton has a lot of experience, but it's all bad experience. I think that if he says things along those lines, I think that's going to be the most effective attack.
Rob, what's the sense you get in that battleground state of Virginia? Do people here believe that Donald Trump could swing, could say something different, could go on to policy? Or do those people who want Donald Trump, do they say, let him go, we love him just the way he is?
I think it's somewhere in the middle. So they want to let him go. And Donald Trump has the advantage of being able to go after Hillary Clinton like no other GOP opponent could have done, just because of his personality and what he's gotten away with before. But that doesn't give him license to do something that's going to be offensive. So I think he has to walk the fine line of going on the attack against Hillary Clinton without going way overboard.
What about that offensive nature here, Bre? I got to come back to you on a moment here, because there was a comment this week from Rudy Giuliani about defeating a woman in the presidency, and that really kind of chafed at a lot of people here. Doesn't he still have to be very careful, because we are still dealing with a society that when you go after a woman, you say nasty things, you're going to take a chance on offending people. But let me go ahead and balance that out by saying, is Hillary Clinton, in the eyes of those who don't like her, she's not a woman, she's just the enemy?
I think a key demographic of this electorate for victory for both of these candidates is going to be female and women voters, right? So I think both candidates have a problem with securing support from women. Donald Trump largely because of these remarks that he likes to make about women, about what they look like, their physical appearance, their bodily functions, etc. But Hillary Clinton is turning a lot of women off just because of who she is and what she stands for, and these kind of pandering quasi-feminism that she likes to.
All right, let's go ahead and get another woman's perspective here, if you will, at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-NEWSMAX. Susan is on the line right now from Buffalo, New York. Susan, two-part question, and if you could, be brief. Do you want Donald Trump? By the way, let me ask this, Susan. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want him to dig in even deeper on Hillary Clinton, and do you want him to really go after her, or do you want him to try and embarrass her by using her record against her?
Well, both. And I would like to say that as a woman who is a true feminist, I'm 57 years old, I really hate when women say, oh, that's so offensive. I've flipped houses for a living, and I work with all men. And if you're offended by men, then don't listen to them. Don't work with them. I think it's sad that kids today are so offended by this liberal crap. And I think it is liberal crap. And
Okay. We get it here. So let me do this then, because quite frankly, Rob Schilling talks to people every single day in Virginia. Rob, do you get the sense here, and again, big battleground state here, what kind of sense do you get there about people who are sick and tired of people saying, look, Hillary Clinton, you're in politics now. Be a big girl. You can take this. It doesn't make a difference what anybody says when they go after you. Do you get that sense?
I'm hearing that from everybody who are so fed up with political correctness. They're so sick and tired of the media saying how someone should believe and how somebody should be offended. My callers are fed up with it, and their way to get back is to cast their votes for Donald Trump. I'm hearing that every day.
But let me ask you this, and I'm going to stay with you here, Rob, because this is interesting. Kelly Ayotte, the New Hampshire senator, she was in a debate, and she talked about Donald Trump. Somebody asked her if you would want Donald Trump to be a role model to your kids. She said this about Donald Trump. Here's the sound.
I think that certainly there are many role models that we have, and I believe can serve as president, and so absolutely.
Hey, Bre, I'm going to bring you back into this because we just heard the statement that Kelly Ayotte made about Donald Trump. And Rob was talking about, and we last had a caller talking about how people are sick and tired of political correctness. We get all that. I think we all are in one way, shape, form, or another. But what does it say when you have a higher-ranking senator who's a Republican who comes out and says this? She isn't sure if she wants anybody, any kid, to have Donald Trump as a role model, and then she walks it back. I mean, doesn't this kind of unfortunately just eat away at Donald Trump just a little bit every single day with possible voters?
Sure. I mean, just today, I filed a story about how college students are triggered and think that masculinity is something that's toxic to mental health. So I think certainly we're in a day and age where political correctness and sensitivity has gotten to the point where it's out of control. And I think a lot of people are casting votes in favor of Trump because of that reason. However, I do think that, Trump is a problematic and a flawed candidate just because of who he is and what he says, and just the fact that, he's not a very tempered person. So I think that is going to come back to bite him, and I think it's fair for
I got to do that. Unfortunately, I'm out of time, Bre. I got to stop you real quick. We are all out of time. Guys, we got to have you back again because we got a lot going on here. Rob Schilling, weekdays, noon to 2, online, News Radio 1070, WINA, Charlottesville, Virginia. Latest from Bre Payton at thefederalist.com. I want to thank you both for joining us. Enjoy the debate. Watch for those one-liners, all right, guys? Next up, why Americans don't seem to give one whit about foreign policy. And there's a huge issue happening when it comes down to Russia, Syria, and even a new issue that's starting to pop up now. We're going to talk about it in depth. On the way out, gee, it's another day ending in Y. It's another day where the password is, among other things, when the pundits and the comedians are taking a shot at our politicians. What do they talk about these days? Taxes.
And this is crazy. The tax returns show that Trump lost about $1 billion in 1995. Trump was like, what can I say? I thought Furbies were going to be huge.
A new report has found that despite his recent string of gaffes, Libertarian nominee Gary Johnson has 4 times as many newspaper endorsements as Donald Trump. So if you got weed, he's got papers.
Tomorrow night is the vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Tim Kaine. Yep, experts expect a record number of people not to watch it.
But according to the former Rudy Giuliani, Trump... He used to be Rudy, right? I'm not wrong there. He used to be Rudy, right? He used to be Rudy Giuliani. According to him, Trump not paying taxes just proves how smart he is.
The reality is, this is part of our tax code. The man's a genius.
Yes, only a genius can lose $1 billion running a casino.
LeBron James wrote an op-ed where he endorses Hillary Clinton. Yeah. LeBron says he and Hillary are all about the same thing, taking forever to finally win something.